Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Always ready to dig in.
Awesome. So today we're all about newsletters. You know those emails we all get?
Yeah, the ones that sometimes get lost in the inbox abyss.
Exactly. Well, we're going to figure out how to make yours stand out.
Mhm.
We've got this doc, it's just called Pasted Text, and it's got like 10 solid tips for building a newsletter people actually want to open.
Not just open, but actually read and engage with.
Yeah, that's the dream, right? So let's jump in. Tip number 1 hits on something super important, knowing your audience.
Right off the bat, it's crucial. You got to know who you're talking to.
Yeah, because like a generic message, it's just noise.
Total noise. It's like you're shouting into a void. Segmentation is the key here. Think of it this way. Imagine a tailor.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
They wouldn't just make one standard size suit and expect it to fit everyone perfectly, would they?
No way. Everyone's different.
Exactly. So with your newsletter, you got to segment your audience. Think about their interests, maybe their past purchases, how they even found you in the first place.
So are you saying instead of this massive email blast, you're crafting smaller, more tailored messages?
Absolutely. It's all about hitting the right people with the right message at the right time. Makes a huge difference.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know who we're talking to. Now what do we actually say to them?
Well, that leads us right into tip number 2, valuable content.
Okay, so what makes content valuable? I mean, that's kind of subjective, right?
It is,
Yeah.
you're right. But think about it from your audience's perspective. What are their pain points?
What are they struggling with?
Exactly. What kind of information would make their lives easier or more interesting or help them achieve their goals? That's valuable.
I love that. You're giving them something they can actually use.
And that's what keeps them coming back for more.
All right, so we've got the audience, we've got the valuable content. What's next?
Well, you've got to tell them what to do with all this awesome info,
Yeah.
right? That's where the call to action comes in tip number 3.
Right. Guide them towards the next step.
Exactly. And it's got to be crystal clear. Download this, register for that, read more here, clear and enticing.
Like a big shiny button they can't help but click.
Haha, exactly. You don't want them wondering what to do next. A strong call to action keeps things moving.
Okay, so we've got our audience, the valuable content, a clear call to action. Anything else we need to consider?
Timing. That's tip number 4, and it's a big one.
Oh yeah, timing is everything.
Think about it. You could have the best newsletter in the world, but if it lands in inboxes when everyone's asleep,
It's a total miss.
right. So you got to experiment. See when your audience is most active online, track those open rates. Find that sweet spot.
It's like you're syncing up with their day, figuring out when they're most receptive to what you've got to say.
Exactly. And that ties in perfectly with tip number 5, which is all about being data-driven.
So we're talking about looking at the numbers, right?
More than just looking, you're analyzing. What are your open rates telling you? Are people clicking on your links? What about those unsubscribe rates? Any patterns there? The data can tell you a lot.
It's like having a direct line to what's working and what needs a little tweaking.
Mm.
I love that. Okay, let's talk about personalization. Tip number 6.
Oh, yeah. This is where things get interesting. It's about going deeper than just using someone's name.
Okay, so how do we do that?
Think about personalized recommendations. Like if someone bought a certain product from you, maybe your newsletter suggests related items they might like, or curating content based on their interests.
So it's almost like anticipating their needs, right?
In a way, yeah. The goal is to make them feel like you really get them.
I love that. Makes the experience so much more engaging.
Hmm.
Okay, tip number 7, simple design. Why is that so important?
Think about it. You open an email and it's just a jumbled mess all over the place.
Oh, yeah, I hate that. It's so overwhelming.
Exactly. A cluttered design, it just turns people off. You want to keep things clean, easy to read, and make sure it looks good on a phone. Everyone's on their mobile devices these days.
So true.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to tip number 8. This one's all about onboarding new subscribers.
First impressions are everything, right? So you want to roll out the red carpet for your new subscribers, welcome them, let them know what to expect, maybe showcase some of your best content.
It's like setting the tone for a great relationship.
Exactly. And you want them to be excited to be part of your little community.
Awesome. Now, what about social proof? That's tip number 9.
Well, we all know people trust recommendations from other people, right?
Yeah.
More than just marketing speak. So sprinkle in some testimonials or reviews, maybe even a case study or 2.
It's like when you're looking up a restaurant online and you check out those reviews. Seeing that other people had a good experience, it builds your confidence.
Exactly. It's all about building trust and credibility.
Makes total sense. All right, we're on to the final tip, number 10. Consistency and keeping things fresh. Sounds like a tricky balance.
It is, but it's super important. Think of it this way. Consistency, like sending your newsletter on a regular schedule, helps people anticipate it.
It keeps you top of mind.
Right. But you don't want to get stale. Don't be afraid to switch things up. Maybe try different types of content, experiment with new topics, or even tie things into what's going on in the world or, the season.
So don't let things get boring.
Exactly. You got to keep your audience on their toes and always looking forward to your next email.
That's a great point. Okay, so let's do a quick recap. We've covered 10 amazing tips for making your newsletter a hit. Knowing your audience, providing real value, a clear call to action, nailing the timing, using data to your advantage, personalizing the experience, a simple design, a warm welcome for new subscribers, leveraging that social proof, and finding the sweet spot between consistency and freshness.
That about covers it. It's all about building those relationships and making your newsletter something people genuinely look forward to.
And that's how you stand out in that crowded inbox. Thanks for diving deep with us today, everyone. Until next time.
See you then.